Hi, welcome back to this week's vlog, or lack thereof.
This week we have decided, because the weather's been so rubbish and we've not really done anything interesting or worth vlogging, that we're going to do a bog standard equestrian Q&A.
Q&A as in, though, that we've asked ourselves a question.
Yeah, we've just looked up sort of some forums for some regularly asked questions. Well, yeah, we'll make it a tag if you want. Feel free to join in and then send us the link and we'll watch it. Questions that we're gonna both answer individually, and if you enjoy it, comment, like and subscribe, and if you have any questions to ask that we didn't answer, then do so in the comments below as well. Yeah, let's get started.
We are currently seated on Haynett. Can you see it? No, I don't know. On Haynett, in a stable, away from the rain.
Here we go. So, first question, you can go first and I'll go second. Okay. How long have you been riding?
Well, hang on, let's figure out how old I am. 20 years? No, 19 years. Started riding when I was 6. That included just weekly riding lessons, the classic way of starting. Weekly riding lessons. Took a little bit of a break. A couple of times throughout my teenage years, but then really got back into it at around 15 maybe, weren't we?
Yeah.
19 years.
I'm very similar. My auntie had horses, so I sat on horses quite young, but in terms of starting lessons, I was probably about 5, and I just did the odd 1 or 2, you know, like your 1 or 2 a month, and then started riding on riding holidays, like for my mum's childcare, during the summer at a farm, probably when I was about 9 or 10, and then I learned most of my riding actually out hacking with a woman who had her own ponies, who just took a tenner and you went out hacking with her, and then that's how I learned all my care as well. And then same as Heather, we kind of got back into it as teenagers around at the same age together.
Question number 2 is, what is your favourite colour of horse?
I have 2 answers for this. I have a favourite colour, but I had the colour of horse I would want to own. Because my favourite colour of horse is actually skewbald. However, I don't think I would, I wouldn't rule out anything, but in terms of white, I wouldn't want, necessarily my ideal horse wouldn't have white. Because I'm very lazy. So in terms of if I was owning any horse, I would probably want a chestnut.
For me, I'm the same. I love a dark dapple grey. They're really pretty, but can't even handle if they go they end up going really grey and you just got all this white legs to deal with. So I would probably want to own a bright bay, a bright bay, black tail.
I mean, I'll take anything if I'm honest.
A dun. I do love a dun.
I do like a dun.
Anything.
Anything. Yeah. They're all special in their own wee way.
All beautiful.
Okay, why did you get into riding?
That's actually, I had embarrassing. I had a friend at primary school who had her own horses. Had her own horses and was really they had horses, had been around horses her whole life, and we used to play horses in the playground.
Sure, we've all been in.
Yeah, probably. And yeah, so then my grandparents got me riding lessons for my 6th birthday.
Aww,
yeah.
I'm so similar.
Really?
So my mum rode horses when she was young. My grandpa was in agriculture, so when he went up to the farm to work, she would go with him on the weekend and do the sort of riding school ponies and then get a lesson at the end. But she not grew out of it, but she stopped doing it when she was older, and then was always kind of liking horses but never had the confidence to go back into it. So me and my sister were offered lessons by her quite early on, but we never had a lot of money, so it was only, again, once a week, and then when we got once a month, and then once we met the other lady who had her own ponies, we started more then. So really my mum got me into horses, and obviously my auntie, which is my mum's sister-in-law, so not related, had horses as well. So there was always someone horsey in my life encouraging me to keep going. But actually, when we became friends, I feel like that made us
Want
back
to
into
more,
horsing.
yeah.
Because I think it can be a little bit of a lonely sport, I think.
If you've not got
your own horse and you're then not keeping it at a livery yard. If
you're just turning up for lessons, you're not really talking to people all that much, because
yeah.
if you turn up for a lesson, you just jump on, ride,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
Yeah. People who have livery yards or friends at their own yard, you don't feel that way. But if you were just coming up on your own all the time, it probably could be quite lonely.
Yeah.
So it's encouraging to have someone else.
It's like there's two entirely different sides of it, isn't there? It's like such a social side to it, but actually if you're just having lessons by yourself like once a week. I mean, I made friends when I was younger, but then you get to the awkward age where you don't really talk to new people. So,
Yes.
what's the most difficult horse you've ridden and why?
Herbie. Hands down. Absolutely. Herbie taught me how to ride a difficult horse. He would only do it if you asked him exactly the right questions. He was super bouncy when he did it, and he needed lots of leg all the time. And having to do all those things at once, I mean, if you followed from the beginning, you'll see that I couldn't do that for a very long time. And just his own quirks that he put on a lot of things that made it difficult. I mean, I absolutely loved him, but that was to be fair, the first horse that was not a riding school horse that I had to ride every week. And yeah, he made me ride. He made me a rider.
A difficult one for me. I would say Guinness.
Yeah, I was gonna say Guinness for you.
I'd say Guinness because he's similar in the way that you had to ask the exact right questions, and if you didn't, he would actually throw a hissy fit, like bucking. And you have to he was very specific in what he liked, and you have to be like very, very light with your hands, but also still having to ask the right questions. It's hard to explain, but also I think for me, it made me understand what the right questions were, because with Rosie I've never really gotten that, like, that's what the right question is. But like, and I feel like I'm actually now able to get better work out of Rosie sometimes because of what happened with Guinness. Like, probably not very obvious in the videos. I'm like, yeah, this is great, and you're like, it doesn't look any different.
Oh, describe your dream horse.
I don't know. I would like an eventer, but like chunkier. Like I like a not thoroughbred type, more like a
Irish sporty.
Irish sport horse. Yeah,
Agree.
Irish sport horse that's really like Rosie and on the ground, like quite snuggly. Maybe a mixture of Rosie and Walt actually, like quite personality but snuggly.
Yeah.
And then just athletic. Someone that wants to jump as well.
Yeah.
Like a forward-going jumper.
Yeah. I think I'm similar actually. Again, my dream horse, the breed one, I always say to Taylor, like, I want an Irish sports horse. Like, I'm not super fussy, I would take anything, but I've always wanted an Irish sport horse, and something that's super honest, but also not push button. Like, I do like the fact that it keeps me thinking and keeps me working, and it gives you more goals, doesn't it, when you have stuff to work towards. So yeah, something youngish, sporty that we can get grow and develop together and meet milestones, that's super honest and very snuggly as well. I like something that's cuddly in the stable, because then my mum's not super confident, she's more willing to come up if it's a nice horse.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Ooh. First horse you've ever ridden?
The first horse I can remember riding, other than, like, you know, when you used to go to the beach and go on a pony ride, or you'd go on a trek on a holiday, would probably be my auntie's horse, Kasia. I might have some footage or a picture, not of the first ride, but of me on her in later years. And actually, she's still alive and kicking.
Quite literally.
Quite literally. The first horse I can remember riding, but the horse I used to ride when I first started taking lessons was called Billy. And he was a strawberry roan, and he was probably like 12 hands, but he felt bigger. And I used to always request him on the holidays.
Nice. I can't remember. My first pony was a strawberry. First pony I rode was a strawberry roan as well, but I can't remember her name. I do remember there was a dapple grey that I had, like, probably from the age of 8 to about 10. I rode her quite a lot, and her name was Bramble.
I feel like that rings a bell, you talking about Bramble.
She was a New Forest.
Your worst fall?
It depends on the definition of worst fall. Because actually, the one that we have on camera where I fell with Rosie looks the worst. But actually, I was fine. I got up straight away.
What about the one with Ollie at Craigie Farm?
Oh yeah. That's probably my only hospital trip. Touch wood. I'm about to go riding. Touch wood. I got on, so friends of friends went to go ride their pony called Holly, and they said, oh, she can be quite strong, so we'll put her in a gag. The girl who usually rode it was quite small and I don't know, a lot younger than me, and basically we were just walking along. I don't even know. I can't really remember.
I think we just stopped for a car or something.
And she didn't want to stop, and ended up just going backwards and rearing up. And I kind of wasn't expecting the rear at all, and she went right up. So I started to come backwards, and then she came backwards with me and landed on top of me and squished my shoulder.
I just watched it. I watched the whole thing. It looked a bad fall. I was expecting the worst, but you were alright in the end.
I actually don't know if it's still the same hat that I'm wearing.
I've never had, again touch wood, a fall that's put me in hospital or broken a bone. My most painful fall that lasted like a longer time was when we'd been on our first holiday at Scottish Equestrian Hotel, and we went back for a lesson in the winter, or just as winter was coming in, and probably the copes were coming in, you know, they're getting ridden that little bit less, the holidays had finished, and the horse I had wanted to ride wasn't available, so I got put on a different horse called Jenny, and I was turning her in canter towards my first jump, and she just bronked off and bucked me off, and I landed on my back. And I did actually get back on and continue the lesson, but I didn't jump. I was shitting my pants, and I had to lie quite still for the rest of the evening with my sore back.
You had a sore back when you fell off Camilla bareback jumping.
That was actually my hip.
Oh.
That was my second ever fall. I fell off Camilla and went arse over tip basically in bareback jumping, and I really whacked my hip, and I couldn't lie on that side for like a week as well. Probably a toss up between those two. Both gave me a bruise.
So next question is, what's your scariest horse related experience?
We were just discussing this, probably the same one.
I don't know if mine is. Oh, I wouldn't know what mine would be.
Well, a joint scary experience.
No, I've got one. Different.
Was we were out tacking on a route that we'd done quite a lot before, and in it you have to go through a farm and through up the pentlands basically, but there sometimes has been sheep or cattle there. We know that Rosie is a bit scared, or certainly was a bit scared of cows at the time, so when we got to the fence and they were on the path, we thought, in our wisdom, let's get off, because Rosie's scared of cows and it'd be better to be off and there's no risk of her bucking Heather off, and we'll just lead them through, and the cows will part and we'll go on our merry way. However, that worked for the first couple of cows. These are Highland cows, by the way, that's a key point. And up in the distance on the path was a Highland cow square onto us, not moving. Thought, you know what, I was like, okay, my grandpa's in agriculture, my uncle's a farmer, like, it's gonna move, it's gonna move. Getting closer, and then to my left, I noticed a calf. And I thought, we've made a deadly error here.
We've made a serious mistake.
We have made a serious mistake. And then it was, we've only got one more cow to go, do we just risk it and carry on, or do we turn back? Then, Herbie decided to pee. So we're stuck, deadlock, cow's looking at us, we're looking at the cow, and it charges at me and Rosie. I decided to like lead Rosie because I was the one that was like, cows will be fine.
You're more confident on the ground than I was at that point.
Yeah. And it charged at me and Rosie, froze, absolutely froze, probably would have died, but it went more for our rear end, so more towards Rosie's rear end than at our face end. And Rosie kicked out at the cow.
She spun round, she was like,
spun,
massive display of
freaked out,
like,
bah,
bronking like properly on you. Like,
and I just held on for dear life, and it went up the hill and was looking down on us. So we were basically like, let's get the fuck out of here. Herbie just finished up his wee, we walked off, punted Heather back on, punted myself on, and we galloped the rest of the way. And we were totally fine. We were kind of laughing it off on the way home, and I got home to try to tell my mum, and I just burst into tears.
You've had more of a scare of cows since.
And I'm now scared of cows. I'm now scared of cows.
More than Rosie is, definitely.
She's almost been better since then.
Yeah.
She's like stood up for herself.
She's like, oh, I can take it on a cow.
Yeah, whereas I'm like, oh my god, I nearly died. What was your one?
Actually in Spain, on a hack with the horse I used to ride every time that I went back, and I cannot remember his name. Began with a G. Can't remember it, but we were like, I used to family holidays in Spain. Used to go up like mountain trekking, and there was one canter that we did that was up, like it was a very like sharp drop next to us, and I was what, I must have been 12 maybe, and this was like a 16-hand horse, so I was small on it, and lost my stirrup whilst we were like cantering, and there was a group of adults that hadn't really noticed, and they just kept going, and I was like, I'm going to slide up the side of this horse and down the side of this cliff and die.
God.
But no, held on for dear life, and all the adults at the end were like, ah, you stayed on, and I'm like, yeah.
It was that or die.
They were like, wow, you stayed on, well done. And I'm like,
God,
yeah,
that's horrible.
scary.
I'm also just straight up scared of bridges and horses. I just don't like it. Yeah, I just don't like the idea of like you.
They could just chuck you off.
Yeah, or like both of you go. Last one we're gonna finish on is, what is your horse goal going forward?
To ride without looking like a sack of potatoes. No, I want to event again. So I did a few events with Rosie. I think we did like a total of 6, I think, over 3 years. Like affiliated and then other unaffiliated events. And I want to do that again, possibly with my own.
So that's the real goal then.
That's the real goal, is to get my own. But life is expensive, as are horses.
Yeah.
So I need a little bit more savings / income before that's a possibility. But I'm hoping, optimistically, end of 2022, 2021, maybe 2022.
Like almost exactly the same. My goal for 2021 is I'm going to get my own horse. I'm setting it as a goal because that keeps me accountable, because as probably many people know, there's never enough money. There's never an amount that you like, if I had that much I'd be absolutely fine.
Well, there is.
Well, yeah, there is millions. But you know, I'm never going to earn enough where I'm like, I will comfortably, easily have a horse. It's going to be hard work. And horses, it's not just the cost of the horse, it's everything and the unexpected bills. So next year is the year I think I'm going to buy my own horse. But it's maybe going to be the year after that I get to do my first ever event. I've only ever done hunter trials. Herbie was 25 when he did his first hunter trial, thus not really fit enough ever to do an event. So my goal is to do my first event. Actually, my goal long term is to compete regularly, BE 90 regularly.
Maybe even 100.
Maybe even 100. That would be my goal actually.
100.
I reckon I'll be able to do 90. My goal would be to push myself and do 100.
Yeah, me too.
The horse I'm going to be able to afford is not going to be something that's ready to go. It's going to need work. So
that's your long-term goal, is to
my
be able
long-term
to
goal
regularly do B100s.
is to be regular doing BE 100s. My short-term goal is to buy a horse next year and start doing all my own stuff. Yeah. You heard it here first. Watch this space.
That'll be really cute, because we can, when you get your own house, we can do like a montage of you speaking about it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, and coming with our goals. We would love our channel obviously to grow, our Instagram channel to grow, and our TikTok is growing. I don't know what we're doing differently on TikTok that we're not doing on everything else, but we would love our YouTube channel to start growing again. A lot of our subscribers are from when we were first using YouTube, so we'd like to keep growing and our Instagram to keep growing, and yeah, keep making some memories. And we want to go to the beach.
Yes,
we want to go to the beach
a couple weeks time. Although
we want someone to drive us. Look at the weather.
Yeah, we want to go to the beach. Can you see the rain? Not really.
No,
you can hear it though. There you go.
Yeah,
I see it there.
So yes, please, what should we call this? Q&A?
Equestrian get to know us.
Equestrian get to know us Q&A.
Yeah.
Please do it. Please, I'll list the questions in the comment section below, and do it. Tag other people to do it. Let us know if you do it, and we'll watch it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about us. And yeah, we'll just sign it off there.
Sign it off there. We've got to go get ready to ride now. Going on a nice rainy hack. So yeah, if you like this video, please comment, like, subscribe, the usuals. And hopefully we'll be coming back with more interesting content soon.
If there's anything you want to see, give us some inspiration. We'll tag you if it was inspired by you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
With another Jolly Jockey special. Bye. How's the audio? Let's speak like normal. Blah blah blah. Zoom this in. Oh no.
Please don't zoom in anymore. Testing, testing,
testing the audio. We should have got a mic. You need to fix the light on your face, I think. I think we're going to need this door open. I think that lighting's going to be annoying. testing the audio again. Yeah, blah blah blah.
Project.
Yep.